Hello everyone, I am Wintergrave, and you may wonder, why am I looking at a desktop? Well, today I'm gonna do something I have never done before, on video of course. I'm going to try to set up an OpenSim server, a new OpenSim server, almost from scratch. I wouldn't say it's from scratch because I'm gonna download it. And well, I haven't I'm just doing it on the first time. I didn't do this before. I didn't train for this. I'm just going for it and see how it goes. So I wouldn't say it's a tutorial. It's just a procedure, step by step, and I hope everything comes well. I don't know how this is gonna go at this time, but we are going to start. So first, I'm going to download source code and compile it. So let's go to opensimulator.org. I have the address right here, opensimulator.org, and we are going to the download sections, and we're gonna find here the binary packages. So if you want to do something like this, you may start with the binary packages with the current release, but for me, I'm going to go for the source code because I'm going to try to do something later with it. I already have an OpenSim server, and I had downloaded the source code for version 0.74, I guess, and I made some implementations. For example, I implemented economy. This time I'm just gonna go for the current source code, and I'm gonna start a new one and see how it goes from there. And I'm going to see what additions I can do. I always like to do these modifications to the server. So I'm gonna download it. The zip version is the OpenSim 0.76.1, and let's see. All right. It's coming at lame speed, I guess. It's only 30 megabytes, but I don't have a very good connection, so it's downloading. And well, this feels awesome. If there was a time before the Big Bang, I think we would do something like this. I don't know. Imagine if the creator just was planning how to compile the universe. Well, this is it. This is how we are doing right now. And actually, once we put this running, if I can put it running, we are gonna just arise as the Ruth avatar. So I'll have to work on appearance later. And there we go. So I have the file downloaded, and I have this. I opened the zip file, and I have this directory. So I'm going to go for my documents, I guess, where I have the Visual Studio projects. I'm gonna compile this on Visual Studio 2012. Alright, so I'm decompressing, but before that we have to do a couple of things, I guess. Okay, I got the folder. It's okay. It's copying the files. I got quite a lot of projects. I like to try a lot of things, and I'm always downloading pieces of code and examples, and I'm doing my own. So I have a lot of projects on Visual Studio. Okay, this is already decompressed on my projects. I'm going to go for that. Is it this one? Oh my bad. I'm just gonna. I had an old one. I'm gonna rename it old, and this is gonna be 0.76. So I'm going for that, and I have here some files. So I have this room pre-built. It's a batch file. So I always like to go into a command console I'm gonna change the directory to this one. So I'm here and I'm gonna run this batch file. It's room prebuild 2010.bat. So I'm gonna run it here, and it's gonna prepare my solution. I'm gonna exit the comment, and here's my solution file. So this is for Visual Studio 2010, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Visual Studio 2012. Well, I just changed the resolution to 720 to make the video is well, lighter, and I always use the 1080p resolution, so you're gonna see my layout is a little cramped here, but that's easy to fix. So I'm gonna to open the file. I'm gonna to open a solution. I'm going to go for the projects, and it is this one. And here's the solution file the batch just created. So I'm just gonna open it here. Visual Studio 2012, it's gonna convert it for me. There we go, preparing solution. I'm just gonna close some windows. I'm gonna close this website. And there we go, we have the solution on Visual Studio. Excellent. And we have the application code. Let's see, this is the OpenSim base file. I'm just going for the versions. I'm just gonna compile it as it is. I'm not gonna do any modifications right now. I'm gonna do that later. I always like to dig into the code and well, see what I can add. For example, the version number or something I can change. But for now, I'm just going to go to build and rebuild the solution. But first, we're gonna take a look at the project directory. Is this one. So we have here the bin folder, and okay, I guess this is one a compiled one. I'm just gonna rebuild it. Rebuild solution, and it's working. Okay, here's the log of all the modules it is compiling. One of the things I want to do for this is a website for this new grid I'm going to create. Okay, it's already compiled. So we have all of these files that are the executables and libraries we are going to use. And right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this. I just press Ctrl A to select all of it, and I'm going to put it in a compressed file. I use 7-zip. I guess this is the best. OpenSim 7-zip. I'm gonna compress it, and I'm going to upload it to a server I have ready for this matter. And once I have it there, I'm gonna meet you back to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna cut recording right now. Okay, now we are at the server, and I have the folder where I want this. This is the compressed file I just uploaded. I'm gonna open this, and I have all the information. I'm just going to select everything and drop it on this directory right here, and this is extracting. There we go. Now we have to do a couple of things before we start working with this. We have to review the configuration, and that is by checking these config files. All the config files we have here. So well, the launch SSL client ini, I guess this is not important for now. I'm gonna focus on OpenSim. I don't know, I'm just gonna take a look at the defaults and check everything. You can edit this on any regular notepad, regular text application. I use PHP Designer for this matter. So I'm just going to drop this in the files from here, and I'm gonna check what's going on the files. So the address of this server is going to be grid2.xyros.com, and let's check if I have everything here. I'm not gonna focus on everything. There's a whole bunch of things that I'm gonna focus on what I am going to use, and that is the connection parameters. So I'm just gonna check them out. This is the access control and the map. Okay, this is for the regions and all that. The permissions, states. I'm not going to use SMTP on this. Okay, the network. So we have the ports, user agent, no simulator chats. For the messages, okay. I can't just explain everything. I have read all of this, and I know many of the parameters, but there's a lot of things to do. If you have any files, just by reading it, you can get to know what this is. For example, this is how you control the wind, and you have several values there for wind strength, the rate, and all of that. And it has, of course, its defaults, and the default is okay. This is the economy. I had already built the economy on one version of the server, but I'm not gonna mess with this right now. Engine, everything is already configured for you, so you got all of the things all of these things. Okay, this is the web service. Okay, I'm not using free switch right now. This is for the voice, where you can have voice chat. I've never been able to configure that, so I'm gonna check it out later. Maybe once I learn how to do it, I'm gonna do a tutorial for that. User profiles. Okay, this is the profiles service URL. So right now I'm gonna put something here. The user profile is going to be the address of my server with the port 8002, and the address is grid2.xyros.com. There we go. Architecture. Okay. The architecture. This is going to be a grid hypergrid. So I'm going to include this file that is in the config include grid hypergrid. So we're gonna check on that I guess right away, because I'm going to check the other in a file that is the defaults. So we have these defaults, save crashes. Okay, I'm just not going to mess with the defaults right now. So next on the list is to check this grid hypergrid in a file. So I'm going to go to the config include directory, this folder here, config include, and I'm going to grid hypergrid .ini. So I'm the grid command ini, the models, all the models that are going to be here. What I'm interested right now is in the connection parameters, that is the database, but I don't remember what file is it. So I'm just skimming through all the files. Okay, here it is. Local service module, state data storage, asset service, inventory service. Okay, so this is the grid service, local service, storage provider, null region data, network connection. This is where I had all the SQL Server before. Okay, Friends messaging. I guess it's in the common ini, grid common. So this is the grid. Okay. So I don't have the grid common ini file because it is renamed like this, grid common ini example. I'm just going to copy this to name it grid common.ini. Here we go. Yes, I want to change the extension, and I'm gonna use it here. I just opened this one, and this is the storage, and it is using the SQLite, but I'm not going to use that. So this is going to be SQL Server. The storage provider is gonna be OpenSim data SQL, and the connection string, I'm just gonna change this to, alright, read2.cyrus.com, and my port, I'm just gonna blur this for you. I'm not gonna let you see my user and password, right? So I'm gonna set parameters, and this is the connection string I'm gonna use for my database. That is gonna be the address, database, user ID, and password, of course. So I'm just gonna put it and bring you back once I got it. Alright, I just set the connection parameters for user and password and database, and I'm continuing with this. So this is the hypergrid section, and this is my home URL. That is going to be grid2.cyrus.com, and the port is going to be 9000, and the gatekeeper is going to be also read2.cyrus.com. There we go. I'm gonna use this a lot. I'm just gonna copy it, and here we have the modules, the asset cache, optional, authorization. Okay, I'm just gonna leave all the default. The asset service is okay. The asset server URI is going to be mygridserver.com. No, it's grid2.cyrus.com. 8003, and the inventory service, this one is gonna change also. The grid information is gonna change to the same one, and the grid server, I'm just replacing the default with my URL, right, with my domain name, and this could be an IP address, of course. The gatekeeper for the grid service, and this is the messaging, and it's going to be also this one. The avatar service, of course. Presence. Okay, I'm just gonna change all of these addresses to mine. User account. So 8003 and 8002 are gonna be ports. I guess 8003 is the port I have to connect to, and friends service and HG inventory access. I could just replace this, but I don't like to do global replacements. I like to see what I'm doing. The hypergrid access module, and I can't wait to have a hypergrid installed so I can hypergrid to other places. I still have my old server, of course, but I will migrate to this one. I'll migrate everything to this one. Okay, this is the user agent and the map image server. This is going to be for, and I'm going to do the website for this. Okay, so I guess this should be all, right? I don't know if I have anything else. I guess this would do. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to try to run the files, but before that I have to configure some exclusions on Windows Firewall, of course, and I have to add OpenSim exe and robust. Here's robust. So I'm just going to firewall, Windows firewall. I'm going to add a new exception for the program that is going to be, I'm just gonna browse for it. And here we go. I'm going to add OpenSim. Allow the connection, and I'm going to name it OpenSim app in. Nope, IN. And another exception for program, I'm gonna browse it, and it's gonna be robust.exe, the executable robust. Allow the connection, app incoming. There we go. We have the exceptions for both of them. And since this is a console server, I'm just gonna open a console on the command prompt. I guess if I use mode 5720, no, it's a comma here. I'm just making this a little you can see what I'm doing here. I like to see the logs of what is going on. 58. I guess this is exactly what I need. 158 and 20, and I'm gonna to open two of them. So I'm just gonna open one more. Got 20. No, this is not open, it's mode. There we go. I'm just gonna put it here. Oops. Alright. So I'm gonna change that directory to this one. There we go. And I'm gonna do the same here. So the first thing we have to do is run robust, and I'm gonna run it on the console hub in the upper side of the screen. So I'm gonna run robust, and let's see if it works. If something crashes, I'm gonna find out right here. So let's press enter, and there we go. No. Okay, I don't have the robust ini file, and that is fair. Robust. So I have a robust ini example and a robust HG ini example, and HG is for hypocrite. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna copy and paste, and I'm gonna rename this to robust ini.ini. There we go. And I'm gonna open it on the editor, and we have this configuration. So I guess we have some addresses here also. This is the asset service connector. Okay, I'm just checking for addresses and see if it has. This is the network. The port is gonna be 8003. I guess 8002 is the one you connect to, right? This is a hypergrid, and the home URI is read2.cyrus.com, and the gatekeeper is also this one. Database server. Okay, I'm gonna change this also. So I'm gonna copy and paste the same things I had there. It's in the grid command. I'm gonna blur that for you. Okay, I just changed the connection to MS SQL Server and added my logging information. And we have the asset service, the inventory service, and the grid service. Hypergrid linker true. This is the asset. Let's see, do I have more? Okay, I'm gonna change this to read2.cyrus.com. I don't have free switch, so I'm just gonna skip that. Authentication, no addresses. User accounts. Okay. Friends service, login service. Okay, here's another one. This is the map titles URL that I'm gonna also change it to this one. Profile server, I'm gonna set that up. I guess this is not okay, this is for a web. Okay. This is not something I'm going to set. OpenID, destination gate. I'm gonna have to research this because this one is new for me. I'm just gonna set it and I'm gonna research it and use it, of course. The gatekeeper use. Okay, this is the default. So I'm just gonna change it. And we have a lot of things to change here. The web server. Okay, this is the one that the server sends to the agent, and the agent, by the agent I mean, for example, the viewer, that it's going to be in my case Imprudence. I guess I'm using Imprudence, right? Or maybe I changed to Firebird. I'm gonna check that out in a second. Okay, so it's 8002 is the one I'm going to connect to. Right. Map image server, read information server. This is the login URL. Okay, this is the grid name, the lost continent of Hypo. Well, in my case, it's going to be Cyrus Red 2. And the grid nick, Cyrus Red 2. You're gonna see what this is once I get to the viewer. The welcome. I don't have a welcome page, so I'm just gonna leave this blank. I don't have economy. I don't have an about. I don't have a register. I just need to build all this to to recover passwords and all that. I have to build that site. Okay, I'm just reading something that I found weird. Alright, so anything else I have to change? The inventory service, I guess I have. Oh yes, I have to set this one because when I travel to other grids, everything I trade is going to come here, right? The asset server, of course, it has to point to my grid. The groups, okay, this is the home URL. No, I don't have groups, so I'm not going to set that. User profile servers. All right. So I guess that is almost everything. So I'm just going to start Robust again. Robust and press enter. It's doing something. It's loading the defaults. Oh, I saw some crashes, I guess. Let's see what crashed. Can I go up? No, I can't. Why can't I go up? I guess I cannot scroll. I used to have a scroll here. Alright. I hope everything is okay. Now, Robust is running. I don't know if the service is running. I'm going to run OpenSim right now and see if it works. OpenSim. Enter. Oh no, it didn't work. It didn't load a plugin. It's the connectors. Maybe I have to run this as administrator. I'm just reading the book. Oh well, what can you say? Well, actually, this is one day later. I just found out what was messing this up and I fixed it. And I have bad news and good news for you. The bad news is that if you want to use Microsoft SQL Server, you won't be able to use the OpenSim version that is published on the website just as it is. I had to do some coding. If you want to use MySQL Server, okay, that will be fine. But I personally like to use SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, because I can do a lot of things with it, and I'm used to the language, and I like the database, and I can link it to websites and other applications I have. So I did that, and I'm gonna just quickly explain you what I did. And I did the following. This is my Visual Studio. I just had to code more modules for SQL Server because they didn't exist, so I had to create them. I did create them. I may upload this the source code, and I just rebuilt the solution, compile it, and put it up running again. I changed the version. I always like to do that. I'm gonna call this I wouldn't call it a distribution, but I will call this version Arandaspis, and if you wanna know what that is, just Google for it. And the good news is that I'm gonna publish this for download. If you wanna download a version that works with SQL Server, you are going to be able to download it from a link on the description below this video. And now let's continue. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna run robust again. I hope it works. I already tested it. It seems to be working, but I didn't finish because I wanted to finish this on video, right? So I'm gonna run again robust. Oh, no spaces. Robust, and it's running. Excellent. Everything is loaded successfully. And now I'm gonna run OpenSim, and let's hope this works. Here we go. It's running. It didn't crash. Yes, it's asking for a region name. Oh, and I didn't thought on a region name. What would be a nice region name for start? I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna come up with the first name, but I can think maybe and the first thing that comes up to my mind is Ignite. I don't know why. It's something hint about that. So I'm gonna call it Ignite, and that is the region name. It shows this ID. And the location, I'm gonna set this in the 10,000s. No. 10,000, 10,000. In case I want to link it to Osgrid, I guess LBSA Plaza is on 10,000s. The internal IP address, I don't remember if okay, I'm just gonna set this 0000 is the default. The internal port is gonna be 9,000, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that, 9,000. And alternate ports, I'm gonna set this to true. And the external host name is gonna be grid2.cyrus.com. Oh no, now we got another crash, and I guess I'm gonna have to fix that. And I'm gonna close the program and see at the description. Alright, I just brought you back because I think I found out what was going on. You know, Google can fix almost everything, and it results that I think I need more fields on one of my tables, and I'm gonna check if that works right away. I'm recording all of this because if someone faces the same problem, this will be a good way to know what's going on. I always hate it when there's not enough information on what is going on. So this may be kind of difficult for someone, but if someone is really interested in knowing what's going on with this, I'm just gonna leave it for the record, or even for myself, just like that. So I'm just gonna add these fields, these columns on this table state settings, and it's gonna be 3 of them: allow landmark, allow parcel change, allow set home, and those 3 are bits, and I'm gonna default them to true. So I'm just gonna run this snippet. I also gonna put the structure of this database for download. I guess that's fair enough. Alright, so I've just added these columns, and I'm gonna check if it works. I'm going to run again the program. Maybe you don't get to see what I'm doing here. This is my desktop, and I just go into the server like this. So this is the server. I'm gonna run OpenSim, and let's see if it crashed again or no. It seems to have not crashed. Excellent. It's asking for a state name. Okay, what I'm gonna call the state? Okay, all these names I don't have in my head right now. So I'm gonna call this state container. The names may not make sense, but they never make sense. Alright, no more crashes. Okay, the name of the first name of the owner of the state is going to be Winter. Last name, Grave. And you know what? Wintergrave doesn't exist on this server, so it's telling me that Wintergrave doesn't exist. So I have to go to robust on here on this one, and I'm gonna say create user Winter Grave and a password. There we go. My email. And it gives me the ID, and it didn't create it. Oh, why? Maybe it did create it. I'm gonna check it. Winter Grave. Okay, it did create it, but it had some kind of error that I'm gonna debug and fix later. Okay, so the region is up, and the server seems to be up, but I'm worried about this error here. I'm gonna check that later. So the server seems to be running, and this seems to have been created, and that is awesome. Alright, now I'm going back to my laptop here, and I don't remember what viewer I was using. I'm just gonna, this is the, okay, I'm gonna check for it's not imprudence, is oh my god. I completely forgot what viewer I was using. It's so long time. Okay, I'm just gonna search for it on my computer, and I'm gonna bring you back. And we're back. And it turns out that I was using Singularity Viewer, and I already had it installed. I already had it installed on my laptop, but I had forgotten about it, and I just opened it, and it asked to be updated, and I just updated, and I'm gonna run it right now. I don't know why I always forget a lot of things. I have to exercise my mind. And here we go on Singularity Viewer, and I guess it's going to load on. Alright, it's loading on Cyrus Grid on the server I already have. This is the web page for that server, but the server is not online, so I won't be able to log in. And I'm just gonna add one more. Let's see, I'm gonna create a new one, and the login URI, it's going to be http it's grid2.xyrus.com:8002. And let's see, I have to press refresh grid URLs. Would it do it? Oh yes, it got it. You can see grid name Cyrus grid 2. I'm just going to the server. Here's the server, and we can see, actually we cannot see, we can see, okay, we see nothing. Alright, so I have this new grid and I can save it, I guess. Can I just choose, I'm gonna apply, excellent, and I'm gonna press OK. So it put the screen blank, and that means there is no web page for this grid, and there isn't. And now I'm Wintergrave. I have my password, I have my grid, and I'm just going to log in, and let's hope it doesn't crash. Log in. Oh, login failed. Let's check this out. Okay, so we have an exception, and that is because of I am missing a table. Okay, and what table is that? I'm missing a column on a table. Oh, I guess this is something that it has to do with this error I just seeing up here. Okay, I'm gonna check the log for this. I'm going to check that log and see what's going on with that error. I'm just gonna fix it. I'm going to go through it until I have it. Until I can launch this. Okay, and here we go. Let's try to check what was this. Alright, this is one more try. I just checked the source code again. I modified my tables, my SQL tables, and there seems to be a lot of outdated code on SQL Server. That is maybe because most of the programmers of this interface think that Microsoft SQL Server sucks. Well, I actually love to use it, but this is what I want to do, and it's just OCD. I won't rest until I have this done. So I'm gonna try, and let's see if it lets me log in. It's logging in. It's doing something. Welcome avatar. Requesting region capabilities. Second attempt. Is it crashing? Okay, it's doing okay. Your requested location is not available. Okay, you have been moved to a nearby region. That's okay, no problem with that. And yes, we are finally here. And well, I am Wintergrave, but I am Ruth. This is the default Ruth avatar. You can see it's this woman, but that's great. We are now in a new virtual world running on SQL Server. The code is compiled. The database seems to be up to date. It may need to have more things, I guess, maybe updates. But you know what? I'll be updating this source code, and I'll be updating my database, and I will put a link to the download on the description of this video. And I don't know, This server runs pretty nice. Actually, I have a Minecraft server on this server, and I have not published anything there yet because well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, this is nice. You can see the position of the legs. Okay, this, I don't know. This version, I guess it has like telehops. Let's see if the map works. Does it render? Oh yes, that's the piece of land we are in. We are on Ignite region, and I guess we can make telehops here. I can set up telehops. Maybe if I set an object, I'm gonna build something here. Create. I love these sounds. I don't know why it brings me memories. Oh yes. Let's see if the context features the object. I don't know where it was, like more. I'm gonna set the script texture features. What? I remember it was something about the telehop here, for telehop information, but I don't care. We are just here on this new land, and we can create objects. We can modify land, and okay. On the next episodes, I'll be creating a continent on this world. I'm gonna make a PNG file about a continent, and I'm gonna create regions, and I'm going to make a continent, and it will be the first thing. And well, so far this grid is open to the public, but you know, if you want to come here, you cannot create user accounts because we have no web page. But I think I will be doing that. I will be creating a web page so you can log in, you can make your username, you can create your avatar, you can come here, contribute, and something. But I guess that is going to take some time, right? So far I'm just gonna put what I'm doing to download freely, and let's see what goes on. Well, this video might have been kind of boring, I don't know. I just enjoyed it because I enjoy trying to solve problems on code. That is what I do. That is my job, and I really like it. And if you're one of the people, if you are one person that watch this video from beginning to end, well, you are a sweet person. And if you have any comments, well, just feel free to leave some comments. And I don't know, any kind of comments you may have about this. Alright, so I am the Ruth avatar, and I say goodbye.